Where are we on overall structure with GBP pairs?
I think we're
In a
at
correction.
equal eye resistance right there.
Why are we in correction, Javon?
It's not making a higher high.
Okay. So how do we trade that? Anybody?
Fibonacci's.
Okay, so look. So when was it? Last week when we talked about, well, literally I've recapped kind of the GBP pairs multiple times now, but I just want you guys to see why we're not necessarily looking for like a higher up move. So we have to understand that the first structure in which we had, and I'm going to delete this Fibonacci for now. And I've gone over this multiple times, but the first structure in which we had was this right here. Well, the very first one was here to here, right? And then we got our Fibonacci extension level, sorry, take profit. So you guys have this one, right? So here, A to B, pull back here, and then hit take profit here. So we already recapped that before. Then we had the new structure where it was A to B here. We had consolidation. We had the breakout of that consolidation to hit our take profit level here. So do we all understand that our take profit for our up move is done, right? Then what we had was a big exhaustion level after the elections in London or in Britain. Okay, we had this huge exhaustion level, and then we have a weekly engulfing candle. So yes, as Javon mentioned, we are in a pullback, but I want you guys to kind of break this pullback down for me, because when the market's actually moving and I'm not there, like to talk to you guys nonstop, I want you guys to really understand this structure level for you for yourself. So I'm going to put that second fib that I drew back on here. Okay, cool. So now on the new time frame, okay, and don't let this, I'll delete this big fib for now so that this doesn't, these lines don't confuse you. All right, so now on this time frame, what do I see?
A downturn.
Okay, so we have our A to B here, and as Javon mentioned, we have what we call a pullback, right? So now what are we looking for with our GBP pairs? Are we looking for sales or are we looking for buys?
Sales.
Okay, sell for overall structure. If you know how to intraday trade or scalp, then of course you can trade like the counter trend or whatever to get the money. Because as I mentioned last week, we literally caught 200 pips from last Monday. Was it 200? 224, I think. Yeah, 224 from last Monday. So now where price is right here, we're at a strong support, previous support, now turned resistance level. Does everybody see that?
Yes.
And we're at the 38.2. So I want to see how price reacts here. Literally even when it comes to this structure right here, like every structure that you have, if you are not sure, because remember, you have to trade what the market gives you. I think a lot of people mess up because they try to literally, I don't know if people try to tell the market what to do or whatever the case may be, where it's like, it's kind of crazy. Somebody will get in for a buy and literally be in 100 pips drawdown and it's like, no, I'm not going to pull out. Like, I know it's going to buy, and they lose all their money and blow their account. And it's like, you have to literally trade what the market gives you. Even on gold, when I show you guys that gold trade, once price broke a certain structure, I literally changed my entire analysis on gold, because it's not what you think. It's how you respond to what is actually happening. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Because structure points can get broken all the time. News can happen, certain market events can happen. We know as technical traders and understanding how to trade smart, we understand structure, okay? We also understand, and once you get to a level where you understand like fundamental analysis and stuff like that, you can get to the point where you're trading what they call trade with the banks, you'll understand how to literally capitalize off these momentum and these pushes so that you can gain revenue. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So where we are in the market right now, we're at here, like I mentioned before, we're at the support now turn resistance level. Price can literally, so this whole area right here, let me box it up. This whole area right here was a consolidation zone, right? Okay. This whole area right here is a consolidation zone. Price can literally come up here and consolidate some before we have our reversal, but I'm not looking to drop for,
Mm.
I want this to look like, okay. So I wanted to stay in this channel. What I want to see happen is once this channel finished forming, you want to see it break to this trend line right here, this green trend line here. Have a break out of that trend line, retest before you get in for this sell. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So you have like a minor structure, which is this channel formation, and then you have this major structure, which is like these two trend line bounces. And we also know like whatever happens in the past always happens in the future, right? So this channel can continue forming up for a little bit. We don't know where the market is going to reverse, which is why when I tell people like, make sure you have a breakout. When I say make sure you have a retest before you enter the market, the reason being is because like even on gold, last week somebody told me that they sold gold and I said, why? Like, why did you sell gold? You had no retest or no confirmation for what gold was going to do. But we did have a confirmation for a buy because we had a breakout of a triangle and then a retest of that triangle to go higher. I'm going to go to gold chart in a minute, but I want you guys to understand what I'm saying, right? Because yes, we're expecting this to reverse soon, but we have no indication right now that this is about to reverse. Yes, we have this price rising, but as we see, it's also in the channel. We don't have no divergence. We don't have no breakout. We don't have no pullback. We don't have nothing. All we have right now is that this was an impulse down and this can pull back. But as we know, every single level on a Fibonacci is a retracement level. It's called a PRZ, so price reversal zone, which means that price can reverse here, it can reverse here, it can reverse here, it can reverse here. It could even come up to this 88.6 before it actually reverses. So what is giving indication for me to hop into this sell? I'm not about to enter into this sell right now and just be in a whole bunch of drawdown waiting for the market to reverse. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Trade
Yes.
that without confirmation.
Yes.
So literally
Okay.
on this pattern, the reason I kind of try to put these patterns out for you guys is because I really want you guys to kind of see what is going on and what's happening. So here we have a respect of this channel this entire time right here, up until the point where this broke out of this channel, then it broke out of here. So it broke out of this channel, came back up, then broke out of our major structure, retested this major structure, then dropped. Does that make sense?
Yes. Makes
Yeah.
sense.
Okay, perfect.
Mm.
Perfect. All right. So now I'm gonna go to gold. Did you guys read that article that I wrote on gold?
Yep.
Yes, we did.
Okay, great. Because there are a lot of contributing factors. Also, the US dollar. How many people know what happened to the US dollar this week?
It went down.
Significantly.
Was weak.
Significantly, which means what?
Gold goes up.
Gold would go up.
Exactly. Okay. So I'm gonna please do not let these trend lines confuse you, or like, I know this chart looks like a lot, but I'm gonna break it down so that you guys can follow me. Okay. So based off of the higher time frame, right? I'm gonna do it step by step. So based off the higher time frame, we have these two red trend lines, which are monthly trend lines. Okay. So let me just, no, I think it was weekly. All right. So do you see the levels of this trend line? So here, here, and then up until the point where we have it here, and then we have the trend line below. I know it's a lot of Fibonacci on this chart, so let me go back to smaller. You guys can see this. All right, so here, right? Then this week, last week, I told you guys I was only trading gold to the 61.8. So literally here, we hit our take profit level, and that's when I was looking for a reversal. But again, I had no confirmation. There was no breakout of nothing. Like literally now we have a channel forming right here. And we do see that this is an ascending channel, which is one confirmation for that we can have a reversal soon, but we still have to be aware and understand where we are, because we also have a lot of bullish momentum forming in this area, right? So last week, when this broke through the 61.8, it hit the 61.8, but it didn't hit it with like a wick. Usually when we have a level that hits our take profit level and then we have indication of our reversal, we'll see like a strong wick or like an engulfing candle next for the opposite direction. Did that just make sense, or do I need to kind of show you guys what I'm talking about?
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay. Does it make sense to everybody? Because I know some people like be nervous to say stuff, and then y'all will send me a whole bunch of messages on Telegram to get confirmation on something. Like, this is a platform where everybody learns. So I want to make sure like everybody's good.
I would like to say it again.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm just gonna show you guys an example. And I'm gonna go back to GU to show you. I'm gonna go to the daily on GU. So when this, oh, I deleted the big trend line. Hold on one second, let me draw back. Yeah, here. All right. So you guys see when this, look at the higher structure point. Oh, wait. This. So this low to this high. Look at the structure point on this one once they hit our take profit level. You see how it formed this large wick down?
Mm-hmm.
And then the next
Yes.
candle was an engulfing candle.
Yes.
Going enough.
So on gold, when we hit our take profit level, here, do you see how much bullish momentum this is?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Which lets me know that the market is not about to sell right now, right? But we still have to understand where we are in structure and see kind of like, okay, is the market making higher highs and higher lows still at this point? So when we look at like our major structure, right? We have here to here, right? And then we have this full consolidation area, and then we have here and a new low formed, right? And then now we have here, we have this kind of like breakout of this channel. So the question is this just going to be a retest for a higher point so that this pushes down, because we still have to understand, like, and this is why I do not delete my fibs, is because I understand that in the future, I still know where I want price to ultimately go, right? But then you, again, like I tell you guys all the time, you have some traders that enter the market too early, some that enter too late and completely miss the move. And then you have traders that enter the market right on time just because you understand where you are in the market. That makes sense?
Yeah.
So this 4 hour, what time is it? 9 o'clock. Okay, so 9 o'clock just hit, and this is a new candle forming right now. This last 4 hour candle was what?
Bullish.
And engulfing,
Extremely bullish,
bullish.
right? Which lets me know the market is still not about to reverse right now. So even though my entire bias is still, I'm not about to be selling right now, but I do understand where I am in the market. And I also see that there is perfect divergence right here, which means that this sell is coming soon. Does everybody see that?
Yes.
Yes. Could you repeat that?
Yes.
It might be crosses, right?
You said what?
It might be cross.
Yeah, so not necessarily the cross, but just understanding like divergence. I don't really trade with indicators. So some people like trade the MACD cross and like RSI and like all that stuff. Like the only thing I look at any indicator for is kind of for divergence, and that's it. Once you understand this here, 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 and here, like typically that's always an indication for a reversal, always. But the question is when, right? Because I could get in right now and then be in so much drawdown just because I didn't understand what was happening. So you have to understand like what is going on. Right here, we still got a lot of bullish momentum. So I'm not about to trade this at all until I see a break of structure because I don't like drawdown. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So on gold, my bias is a sell, but I just need confirmation first. So let me see also. Yes, so based off of here, and then when I was talking about when we were just on GBP USD, and I was like, when I go to gold, I'll show you guys the indication of what I was talking about when it came to the breakout and understanding the retest. This is what I meant. So you see how here, when we approach this level, we had a breakout here and then a retest of this triangle. And then boom. Then trend line bounce, trend line bounce, trend line bounce higher. You see that?
Yes.
Okay. So that's kind of like I just want to make sure everybody understands like kind of like that breakout analogy or whatever. Here, gold can still sell off. I am not expecting gold to go past this 1525 area. On the thing that I sent you guys, let's see. This, when I was talking about the two levels that I'm expecting gold to range between 1350 and 1550. For 2020, like I'm definitely expecting gold to range between these two levels. And understand that's a wide range, but wait, sorry, hold on. So when I say 1550, I'm not expecting it to go higher than this point, right? But I want to see gold, like it's going to, because remember also, we haven't been this high in gold since 2000, was it 2013? Hold on, let me see, make sure. Since, yeah, 2013, we haven't crossed this point. This point right here, we haven't been here since 2012. is 2020. Which means that because the market is this high, there will be a lot of consolidation before we have huge drops or whatever the case may be. So like we will have like a lot of consolidation between these zones, but because we're talking about the monthly time frame, you will be able to capitalize off of all of these moves going back and forth. Okay? Everybody understand that?
Yeah.
Yes.
And then the last thing I'm gonna go over is US 30. I wish I had did this session yesterday because I caught this US 30 drop this morning and it was beautiful. With US 30 though, I'm expecting this to drop a little bit more, but remember that you do not trade US 30 like you trade regular currency pairs. Even with US 30, like look for your retests, look for your drops or whatever the case may be. I am expecting, let me see. Sorry, that line goes like that. That's from one of my students earlier. Okay, so okay. Oh, that lines up so perfectly. Okay, so does everybody see how structure kind of like repeats itself?
Yes.
Okay, so literally even here, this is the exact, honestly, this is the exact same pattern, right? So we have this little minor break here. Then we have this break here of this major structure trend line. So here, and then we have this break, retest here, consolidation, drop, break here, this previous resistance now tested as support, retest here, consolidation, drop. So this is my my bias, honestly. Also just looking at where structure is and how structure is forming. Here we have this large, oh no, why does it look like this? I'm just gonna scoot this out the way for now. All right, so here, like looking at the formation of these candles, one, I already see that like there's a lot of bearish momentum here. When I came to this trend line based off of these previous levels, what happened? Price respected it, right? So we have like tests of our trend line. So trend line bounce, trend line bounce, trend line bounce here. Here, tested this trend line, pulled back, tested this previous support as resistance. And now I'm expecting this to break through, but what it could do is come back and test this area a little bit more before it drops and breaks this structure. Then once it breaks this structure though, I'm expecting it to come to this level right here. Right? It's two levels actually. Here as well as here. The market will definitely get to this first one. Here, I'm also looking at as a strong, strong level because of how many levels it was tested as resistance here, now turned support, right? So I'm looking for the market to come back to this level like so. So you see this? Even looking at the bars pattern, right? So even when we have the breakout of this smaller area right here. So breakout, retest, drop. Here, consolidation in this same area. Consolidation, drop. Back up, retest this line, drop back down. Here, breakthrough, boom, higher. High, higher, low. Here, consolidation. This level. Put that like right here. And like trade price action. Is Free Baby on here? I know I always call him that. Let me see what he's on here. Last time he traded US 30 off of this call, he made $15,000 in a day. There's a lot of people missing off this call tonight. How many people on here? All right, so does that make sense?
Yeah.
You said it made 15K, Jess?
Yeah, he made 15,000. I wish he was on here so he could tell you himself.
Sheesh.
He made 15,000. But trade, like, again, as I mentioned at the beginning of this call, I have friends that made $100,000 in a day. Okay, it doesn't matter what anybody else makes. Master the skill, and then your lot size is gonna come.
Mm-hmm.
Don't focus on trying to get a mixable amount of capital right now if you don't have it. And one of the most psychological things that people don't understand in trading is that people trade because they need money, but if you trade because you need money, you will never be a good trader. If that just made sense. Did that make sense?
Yes,
A lot of sense.
it does.
People trade because you need money, but if you need money, if you're trading because you need money, you will always lose trades. Because your mindset not gonna let you. Like, it gets to a point where it's like, I need money, so I can't lose money. So opposed to focusing on what's happening in the market and structure and understanding what you're doing, you're literally focusing on the fact that you can't lose money, and that's when you lose money. Like psychology, for real, y'all, psychology is everything in trading. Like, you have to master your mind, but you have to get good at the skill. Like, my best students, honestly, are the ones that were not effed over in the market. Like, not that I don't like training everybody. And I was talking to this with one of my students earlier. Like, it is a proven fact that people that are highly educated, doctors, lawyers, like people that are educators and stuff like that, they are the worst traders. Like, professionals are the worst traders because they're overly critical. They overanalyze everything. And the thing is that when it comes to trading, it's not like that. Like, and that's one of the major things that I had to break through in my cultivation and growth as a trader, is being able to adapt, because that's what the trading is. That's what the market is. And when you're like super successful, or when you're used to being super successful and you try to control everything, that's when you lose trades. And not only that, your psychology gets worse and worse and worse, because the more you lose trades, the more defeated you become. And it makes it 10 times harder for your psychology to get to where it needs to be in order to be a profitable trader. Most traders are super carefree, don't care about nothing. Like, I have one of my closest friends. It's so much to the fact that, like, it low-key gets on my nerves, because she's so, like, carefree that it's like no structure in the same sense, where it's like everything goes, and it's like she's like that in life. But when you make a certain amount of money, you don't really have to care about nothing. You don't have to care about no schedule. You don't have to care about no timing for nothing, like, at all. Does that make sense?
Right. Yep. Yes. Yes, it does.
So I'm trying to get
It
to.
does. It does. Exactly. That's what we're trying to get to.
For real, yeah. Like, people think I'm carefree from the standpoint of, like, but I'm still organized. Like, I think it's a difference. Like, some people carefree where it's like they aren't organized because they can care less about anything. Like, I still feel like you have to have order and structure, kind of, sort of, because you still have to be disciplined no matter what. Does that make sense? Most people, like, some of the most successful traders I know literally don't look at their phone. They will place their trade and go on about their day and just not look at their phone ever again. And then that's how you win trades, because you aren't in your head. You literally know, okay, this is either going to hit stop loss or take profit. I'm going to check it at this time the next day. And if I'm in profit, I'm about to move my stop loss up in profit. And then I'm about to go on about the rest of my day. But we do not have, like, people do not have, okay, how do I say this? Most educated, not educated, that's a bad word. Most most professionals do not have the thought process to do that, because they're used to being so calculated. So it gives them anxiety if they know that their phone or the market is running and they want to look at their phone 10,000 times. And they going to be at work looking at a phone 10 million times to be like, am I in profit yet? Like a crackhead. Like, am I in profit yet? I want to see if I'm in profit. Like, oh my God. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's sort of a defense mechanism, sort of.
Say again.
So it's sort of a defense mechanism.
Yes.
Sort of a trick you play to the mind.
Yes. Yes.
They're just
But that's only when people are, but that's why, like, you have to master yourself before you can become a good trader. You have to. If not, you will always lose trades. Like, it's inevitable. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can, and the reason that it sucks that people don't have discipline. That's the best way I could put it. I could tell somebody right now, don't trade. I have a girl. I told her, okay, until you finish the course, don't trade. She took like 6 trades the other week. 6, right? And then cried to me about her blowing her account. And I was like, well, girl, I don't know what to tell you. And I try not to be rude, but I know I could be very direct at times, when it's just like, you're harming yourself more than you are helping yourself, because you have to get to a point where you understand the market, to the point where it's like, I don't really care about making money while I'm learning, because I understand that once I learn everything I need to learn, then I can be balling, because I could be popping standards or 2 standards every single day. Does that make sense? Opposed to me trading while I'm learning and losing capital here and losing capital there. And then it's like, I'm doing nothing but making my mindset more effed up, because I'm constantly seeing red before I have an understanding of what I'm doing. but people don't have discipline. So it's like, oh, I just want to trade. I just want to trade. I just want to trade. And then they end up blowing accounts left and right because it's like, they, not only that, you're trying to trade every day when there's no moves to be traded.
Right.
Jessica, someone said to look at the chat.
Like, I know I'm bad at that. Y'all just got to ask y'all questions. Y'all know I get carried away in conversation with y'all. And let me see what it is. 1 second. Okay. So, wow. Hi. There are so many different trends on different time frames on one pair. What time frame trend do you typically trade off for an intraday trade? So there isn't a name. It says iPhone for this question. What time frame do I typically trade off for an intraday trade? Yes, there are different trends on different time frames for every single pair, but you have to look at all the time frames. Like, I'm not even trying to be funny. You literally have to see where you are in the market. You can look at, I start off at the monthly, then go down to the weekly, then go down to the daily, just to understand where I am. Am I on an uptrend or am I on a downtrend? Am I at a level of strong support and resistance, or am I at a level of strong supply and demand, right? So that's the first thing you need to understand. Then you'll go to like the 4 hour and 1 hour and see what the intraday trends are. So like, am I coming off of a downtrend? Am I going into an uptrend? Or am I in an uptrend right now? Am I in the middle of an uptrend? Where is the strong level of support and resistance so that I know what I need to trade to? And then I enter off of like the 5 minutes. So I honestly use all time frames. Hope that answered your question. What is the difference between private students and mentorship? Okay. So private students, I'm actually not taking any. Sorry. I'm not taking any more right now, but I will tell you like kind of how it works. So basically, with private students, like we have sessions every week, every single week, and you have homework after every session. And we don't move on to the next session until you completely get all of your homework right. The course is up to you. And what I mean by that is everybody learns at different rates. So you have some people that will literally put you on like a 12-week program or 8-week program or whatever. And then if you don't finish it in that time frame, then you're SOL, like, I'm sorry. Like, I feel like everybody learns at a different rate. So like I've had somebody finish the course in 2 months. I've had one of my students right now, they're on their like 4.5 right now. And he's still finishing the course, but like, that's kind of how it works. And then I just teach you how I trade, but how I trade is understanding the overall market. So, kind of like how you compound an account, we start off and you're compounding your knowledge, but you should already know how to count pips. Like, you should already know what a pip is. Like, I don't go into the basics of none of that. I literally go into trading. That's pretty much it. But unfortunately, right now, I'm not taking any more students just because like the students that I have to give them my all. Somebody asked me on Christmas, because I did a Black Friday special, I was only taking 8 students. Somebody asked me on Christmas, was I taking any more? I'm not. I thought about opening up for 2 people on New Year's, but I'm still thinking about it. It depends on, I have one girl. If she finishes, like, what's today? So we have a session on Wednesday. Depending on if she gets all her charts correct or not, then I'll have like 1 space open. I might open it up for 2 on New Year's, but I don't really want any more students right now. That's pretty much how it works, though, if that answers your question. With the mentorship group, it's kind of, so let me just clarify. The mentorship group is kind of like, I have mentees and then I just guide them. if that makes sense. But it's not like one-on-one where I'm like checking homework or none of that. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. I will say that 2020, one of my friends, Terrell, actually, does everybody know Terrell? He sent out a message about this millionaire trading plan.